Hi there, and welcome to Rose Sky Tarot. Now, this reading is for the sign of Cancer for the 24th of December 2018. Now, it's a general reading, so it may not suit everyone, but hopefully, there's a message in here that's just for you. Enjoy! Okay, let's have a look at these top three cards. Now we have the Page of Pentacles, we have the Ten of Wands, and we have the King of Cups in reverse. Now, is there something that you've worked hard on? Something that you have, brought to a state that you now want to do it for a living? That you want all of your teachings and your abilities and your skills to come into the real world and for you to begin work with these skills. And it could be that you get the opportunity to do that, to have this real world experience. But this opportunity doubles to 2, doubles to 4, doubles to 8. And all of these new opportunities max you out quite quickly, and that all of your time is being spent on whatever this skill is. And it's taking all your energy, all your time, because you're just overloaded with things that you have to do. And in moving on to the King of Cups in reverse, do you maybe not have time for the people in your life because you have to do all of this work? This takes all your time, and all your loved ones, friends, relationships are fading into the background. And, it could be that they are not happy about it, and they, notice that you're cutting yourself off from them, and they possibly could feel that you're being a bit heartless. That your real love is actually your work and not them. And it could be then that, you begin to close yourself off to them emotionally and dive into this more. So that's like a circle where you're cutting yourself off and diving into work. Your only focus is the work. Let's put these over to the side and we'll start with the larger reading. Okay. Now we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Judgment card and the Temperance card in reverse. So there is something that you have a skill, something that you have a great ability in. And this is something that you have taken a lot of time and energy, and you've devoted, your focus, and you've been diligent and determined to accomplish these skills, and you've made steady progress. And the things that you're able to do within this have become more and more intricate, and that's a fantastic skill, and it's something that you really enjoy, and it's something that brings you, great joy. It starts to, to bring you alive because you're so happy with these accomplishments. Brings colour back into your life. This is your calling. This is what your life is for. is what you feel. But it's also something that you're doing to excess. There's an imbalance with this. This is something that you're doing more than you should to have a healthy, happy, loving life. Now let's move on to the next three cards, and we have the Hermit, we have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Now, with this imbalance of work within your life, you do begin to have a more solitary existence. Because you are cutting yourself off from people. And it could be that, you have a moment where you look at what your life has become. And it could be that it's something that you wonder about how you got there because you are living a more solitary existence. And it could be that, you begin to make wiser decisions about this. Because, maybe you realise that all of the success that you've had, all of the public recognition, and all of the accomplishments that you have had with all of the work that you've done. But is it something that you've realised that, you need more than that? That maybe you need to give back? And it could be that you're sharing the wealth, and this could be through a variety of different paths. It could be gifts, it could be loans, it could be other charitable funding. But the point is that you're giving back to the community because of the success that you've had. And this is something that you have came upon through the solitariness of all this work. Now, let's move down to here, and we have the Page of Wands, the Death card, and the Star card in reverse. Now, is this a new experience for you? Is this something that you have never really done before? This charitable work, sharing the wealth. And it's something that you don't really know how it's going to go, and you don't want to be made a fool of. Because this is something that you're feeling very, very vulnerable. And it could be that you need external validation that you're doing good things, that you're a good person, that your heart and passions are in the right place. And this is a transformation for you. Because you are putting your old life to bed. You're cutting the ties from, the all work, no heart person into one that's charitable and willing to take the chance. You want a fresh start. Because is there something in the experience that you had when you were living life to excess that all you were doing was working? But this card here is about broken dreams, unfulfilled wishes, a loss of faith in what you're doing, and discouragement. So is this maybe why you've gave yourself a little bit of time to think? Is it because of this excess and the loss of faith and discouragement of what your life should be about is why you've pulled back? Is that the case? Now let's move on to the next three cards. At the end of this reading, there is actually two additional cards that I'm going to put over here, out the way. So I'll read them at the end. Now the next three cards we have is the Five of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. Now, why have you begun to feel discouraged? Or are you losing your faith and your dreams are being broken because of the competition, maybe? Has things maybe got out of hand? Has there been conflict there? You know, maybe you haven't had a shared goal. Because there's a lot of strong personalities within this card. Each one vying for leadership, but because everybody's on an equal plane, there isn't a clear leader. So there isn't a clear path forward. So a lot of things could be getting done and said that could be quite hurtful. And this is pretty rough water with all of these arguments. It's not a safe existence. And there has been a lot of things said that make you feel unsafe, that make you want to escape this competitive life. Is that maybe why you've been working to excess? Because the competition is beginning to get too great and that you've pulled back to give yourself some time to think. And because of this, you've decided to move away from this stormy situation. You've decided to protect yourself. You know, and it could also be that this is something to do with the finances as well, because we've got two financial cards beside each other. Are you maybe protecting your finances and beginning to save? Because are you maybe feeling on an unsettled path that you don't know where things are going to go? So you're trying to be possessive about your resources. Now, let's bring these three cards over. Two cards, sorry. And a lot of hurtful things has been said. Some of them malicious, and it could be because of this competition and the strong personalities. And it could be that, a lot of cruel things have been done and said. But there could also be a lot of miscommunications as well. But the thing is that once they're said, not all of them can be forgotten. They're still in your head, they're still there, even when things calm down. But the thing that you need to remember is that you are an accomplished person. You have been diligent, you've been dedicated. You've disciplined yourself into a successful position, a life of quality, of safety, of wealth, and you've did it all on your own. You've came from learning to great success all on your own. But this again is a place of safety because, you haven't felt safe recently. And it's also a place of solitude. So you could still be pulling back from the existence that you had before. Possibly because of all the needlessly cruel things that have been said. Maybe you just don't want to be a part of it anymore. You want to protect yourself. Okay, I'm going to leave that there and bring in the three cards that we had at the beginning. And we had the Page of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the King of Cups. Now, all of the skills that you've had, all of the things that you've learned and experiences that have brought you to a place that you want to bring it into the real world. You want to know how it all works. But the thing is that you don't really have the experience of the real way this business world works and the consequences of certain actions. And you have been very successful in that, all of your time is being taken up by work-related actions. To the point that, you don't have time for other people. You closed your heart off because you can't have time for everything. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that there is something within this reading. Bear in mind it's a general reading, that there is something in here that is able to help you in whatever situation you're in. And Merry Christmas, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.